other week I tried indoor rock climbing for the first time in my life, and for the 5 days afterwards I was in absolute agony. It felt like my arms, shoulders and chest muscles were on fire, and picking anything up, whether that be a cup of tea or just a book, felt like pure pain. Then something big and very disappointing dawned upon me. I have absolutely zero upper body strength. So in this video I'm going to see if it's possible for me to develop upper body strength in just 1 month. I'm going to try doing 100 push-ups a day for the next 30 days to see if I can go from being this to hopefully looking something like this. Day number 1. I'm not even sure if I can remember how to do a push-up, and I'm sure my form will be absolutely abysmal, but I'm going to get them done. I'm going to do my 100 push-ups to kick off the challenge. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. Just another one of my protein heavy breakfasts throughout this challenge of doing 100 push-ups a day, as I'm sure my body will need it as it repairs itself from the wear and tear, particularly in these upper body regions, which to be honest I've not really worked on ever in my entire life, besides the odd workout when I was a teenager, which was just a random thing. They say you are what you eat, and I think that if I eat the right things throughout this challenge, I may be in with a chance of developing better upper body strength at the end of it. So we're now in the latter half of the challenge, and I've just looked at some of the footage from earlier days, and I realised that I haven't really had the best form, and it's something that has stayed consistent throughout the challenge. So I decided to look at a video on YouTube on how to do a proper push-up, and I think that I've got a lot of learning to do. Okay, that is it. Today marks 30 days since I started this challenge of doing 100 push-ups a day for 30 days. Now it's time for the big moment. Let's compare the before and after pictures. This is what I looked like at the start of the challenge. And this is what I now look like. Okay, admittedly there doesn't look like a massive difference between the two photos, but I can assure you that there is a difference. In person, I don't think the camera's doing it a massive justice, and I do notice a big difference in my strength compared to when I started the challenge. It's amazing what you can do when you put your mind to it and you put the work in consistently. I'm now going to share and touch upon 3 things that I noticed throughout this challenge which could be of use to anybody else taking on something similar, and I'm going to start with what I believe is the most important thing, which is consistency. When you're taking on something like doing 100 press-ups a day for 30 days, it's important to ensure that you build consistency, make it a part of your daily routine, make it a habit. So every time I did my daily run in the morning, I would dedicate about 10 to 15 minutes doing the 100 push-ups, which I believe was a massive help throughout the challenge. The second thing that I want to touch upon is diet. They say that the other half to building muscle is all about what you eat, what happens in the kitchen, and it is completely true. If you're eating sweets, chocolate, biscuits and crisps all day, but you want to develop strength by working out certain muscle groups, you can bet your bottom dollar that you are not going to see any results, and you'll probably see the opposite results to what you want, which is actually building fat instead of building muscle. So throughout this challenge, I made a conscious effort to eat a lot more protein than usual. I had lots of eggs, lots of bacon, lots of fish, and I noticed that the soreness from the day before vanished very quickly the day after, and I believe that diet was a big key to that. The third and final thing I want to touch upon, which is probably the most important, and I learned this the hard way, as you saw, is that of form. It's so important that you get your form right when working on developing different muscle groups. At the start of this challenge, as you probably saw, my form was absolutely abysmal. It was pretty embarrassing. I had no idea what I was doing, and halfway through, I watched a video on YouTube of an experienced fitness guru by the looks of it, and I noticed that my form had been awful throughout the challenge. So I made some adjustments, and as you saw throughout the second half of the challenge, my form got a bit better. And to be honest, I think the poor form that I adopted in the earlier stages of this challenge impacted on the results and the progress I made. I've got a friend who is a regular gym goer who often says that it's much better to do lower intensity workouts with your form correct than it is to do higher intensity workouts with dodgy or incorrect form. So that has been a massive learning point for me throughout this challenge. I will make a conscious effort in the future to make sure that I get the form right at the start. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've ever tried anything similar or you're gonna try something similar after having watched this video. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will see you again next time.